It's amazing. I'm one of the youngest here, and I still feel like a lot has changed.
Worcester Academy's commitment to community service begins as soon as children enter in 6th grade. In the middle school, we specifically focus on meeting the basic needs of community in food, clothing, and shelter.
Each math class had, like, you would collect cans or any food that you would bring in.
With regards to the food bank and what we do with the food drive every year, it's grown from just collecting the cans and donating them to the Worcester County Food Bank into more. We now try to educate the kids as to why we're doing this and what the need is in Worcester and Worcester County as a whole.
The whole point was just to, part of it showed our spirit into bringing the food in, and one of our field trips was bringing it to the actual food bank, and we helped out there.
And they also took a tour of the facility and learned all about the facility and what they provide and what they do with the food and what they do with the donations.
You don't really see it in your world just because where we come from, there's always food on your table when you get home. But a lot of people don't have that, and so you just see the diversity in our own community.
This is a sample of what we've done over the last several years. This is a non-sew fleece blanket, and we have made dozens and dozens of these, teaching the kids the skill, but donating them to Abby's house.
All of our graduates have to do at least 60 hours of service. We had over 60 kids do over 100 hours of service last year, so kids go above and beyond. And if you look at the current seniors and the current freshmen and everybody in between, they will amass over 20,000 hours of service together through their life at the school. So it's a pretty big commitment.
Well, I play basketball here, and last year every Wednesday we go over with the whole team. We go over to the Union Hill School across the street, and we volunteer with the kids. We'd help them with homework. We'd do sports with them.
Invisible Children is a program that it aids genocide victims in northern Uganda who were children that were forced into refugee camps, as well as their families.
This past Tuesday in Assembly, we brought the roadies who have actually been to Uganda and seen all of the kids, seen what we've been going through. They came to our school and put on an assembly. I think a lot of the student body really liked it. It was a video for the entire assembly, and then after, the roadies were selling merchandise to raise money to go directly to the kids in Uganda. It's a way to give back for our Schools for Schools program.
Over the past 3 years, I've volunteered for Special Olympics every year. Special Olympics has meant a lot to me because my cousin is handicapped and participates in Special Olympics every year, and she always has so much fun, so it means a lot to me to be able to give back to that community.
I worked at a place called Clinical Pharmacology Study Group, and they're performing trials on different drugs and treatments for rheumatoid, osteo, and psoriatic arthritis, as well as gout and lupus. So I was working there helping organize papers and learn about the ways in which we can, even though I don't have obviously no medical experience, I could still immediately see the effects of the drug trials we ran.
I did another service learning opportunity. I worked this summer in Congressman Jim McGovern's office. I'm sure he's a congressman for many of you here. So basically, I've been involved in politics for most of my life. It's something that's interested me. So I wanted to get a first-hand experience of how the intricacies of the American political system work.
I went down to Washington, D.C., and I worked with a program called Bread for the City. With Bread for the City, what we did was, it was basically a life support center. It wasn't just your normal food pantry. Besides the 54,000 plus visits to the food pantry they have every year, the organization supplies a lot of the population of DC with free health care, to a very long extent, clothing, free attorneys, and counseling. when I was down there, what we really learned was that when you think of Washington, you picture all the marble buildings and the monuments and everything that you might go down and see on your 8th grade field trip, but what we saw this time was a lot different.
So 5 years ago, two students who were currently who were juniors at the time had both lost a parent to cancer, and they said, okay, we want to do something about this. So they then joined with the chemistry teacher, Dr. Smith, and said, we want to do something to raise money for cancer, or for the Jimmy Fund. So out of that, Walk and Rock was born. What it is, it's a walkathon followed by a music festival in the afternoon.
It matured me a lot, kind of, over, because I've been doing it for 2 years, and I started when I was a freshman, so I can see there's been changes in the way I view other people and the way I view the world in general. So.